Hey guys, what's up? Long time no see for this side of the workshop, so I figured since I just cleaned it up after End War that it would be a good time to mix it up a little bit, get a bit of variety in the background, so we're going to film on this side. As many of you know, Toys R Us is now closed in the United States, so they went through a long liquidation process where basically for a few weeks they went, originally 10% off some stuff, and then it went a little higher and a little higher, and eventually went to like a crazy high sale. A lot of the stuff towards the end kind of stunk, so it was a balance of sort of deals versus availability of the products. I was able to get a bunch of Nerf stuff, generally around the 40 to 50% range, so I figured to show off some of the stuff that I got. Now, because they were obviously getting rid of everything, there was a ton of different products available, so I drove around to a few different ones. I tried to pick up things that would be good for modding and have mod potential, rather than just picking stuff up for the sake of it, but I did get some things that I wouldn't normally purchase. Kicking things off for this thrifting one, we got a Helios. Now this is basically the same as the Apollo, but the priming is on the side. So I figured if people make more pump kits for that, this would be way easier to do. So, and it might be a bit smoother than the weird awkward top prime with the gear of the Apollo. So I figured I'd grab one of these just in case any of those kits caught my eye, or if I wanted to do an integration with some sort of pump action rival blaster. The shotgun one kind of stunk, so this would probably be the best candidate. Up next, got something that I hadn't actually seen before in stores. It's the Zombie Strike inflatable target. Now, this is something weird that I would normally get, but since I got like hats and other stuff, I could use them for filming and other stuff, and it's Nerf related, so I know other YouTubers use this as a target, so I didn't want to directly copy that, but I thought it'd be a cool background prop or something like that, just to have in the occasional video. Plus, I'd never actually seen it before in stores, so I figured since it was pretty cheap, I'd just pick one up to have one lying around. Now, one of the issues with Toys R Us closing is that they had an exclusive line of Nerf blasters, the Alien Menace ones. So this is probably my favorite one. I hadn't actually had one from the line because Toys R Us stuff was fairly expensive and I really didn't need another one. However, this is pretty cool. It's a Incisor. I actually got two of these because I wanted to grab them before they potentially went away forever. But basically it's a flywheel blaster that has a drum. It's like a translucent purple, and it's got some other cool parts, so I figured it'd be cool to grab one, rewire it, maybe throw some LEDs in it with the translucent parts. It would look kind of cool. And then also it's cool because you can load it while you're shooting, and then it would go well with like a scavenger type of loadout. So I figured it would be cool to pick one up. Like I said, I probably wouldn't even paint it, to be honest. I think the paint scheme with the white, the orange, and the gray looks pretty sweet, and then the translucent parts kind of ties that together. So maybe throwing some LEDs, doing a rewire. I'm not sure what kind of cage this actually takes, to be honest. It might have its own exclusive cage, or it might be something like the Strife and the Rapid Strike are intercompatible with their cages. The Rapid Strike's a little bit further up, but other than that, it's not too different. So I'm not sure if this shares a cage with another Nerf blaster or if it has its own cage. I'll have to look into that, but hopefully this will be a pretty easy mod and it might make a good loader blaster in the future with some minor tweaks. Now, I did drive around to several Toys R Us stores. I'm pretty glad that I did because a lot of them had different products available. Like, for example, I was able to pick up this Zombie Strike Longshot. Haven't seen one of these guys on the shelves in quite a while, and it never hurts to have a new in-box Longshot. Especially like at the time of filming this, there's still tons of parts coming out for the Longshot. It's a very popular blaster, and I don't see it dwindling anytime in the near future. So being that this was the last available repaint, and it's no longer really in stores, I was happy to get a new in-box one, just to sort of stock up. There's always sort of kits coming out. The most recent at the time of filming of this is the Jet Blaster's Omega kit. So some reviews started coming out for that. It's basically a full metal set, but stuff like that is always coming out for the Longshot, so I figured having some extra ones might not hurt. I have one or two extras, but having a new box one always is good too. Up next, we got the Regulator. Now, this definitely falls under the category of things I would not purchase normally. It's pretty expensive. Nerf blasters tend to get fairly expensive, especially when they include all these other accessories. I don't really need a lot of them, but they're all in the box, so I forget how much it normally retails for, but when it's like 50% off, it's hard to pass up. This has a select fire board, which might be cool to use in the future, but you'd have to use it on sort of a 2-circuit setup because the voltage from and amps more specifically from the LiPo would definitely fry that board. So might be a cool project in the future, but just grabbing one for the sake of grabbing one really in this case. I got this Raptor strike as well. You could see sort of a theme as I'm buying a lot of like mostly larger blasters. This one I wouldn't really use in its stock form. I'd more take it for parts and use it in an integration. But the stock is quite nice. Some other people have done like Raptor strike integrations. I might do something like that. It's been done before though, so maybe I'll do something, some kind of different twist on it. But I figured I'd pick this up for the stock since it was super cheap. Then the last thing I picked up was a Nemesis. Now, I already have a Nemesis that I've been sort of waiting to mod. However, when they're like, I think this one was like 40 bucks or something, I really couldn't pass it up. I know that the 200 round version is also coming out, but I don't even know if I'm going to get that, to be honest. It's pretty unwieldy. It's not really my play style, so I think that a modified Nemesis would be more my speed. I think I'm going to look to minimize one in the near future because it's a huge blaster and I like to run around. So that sort of ties into the last piece, which is the bandolier blaster strappy type of thing. So I got that, and then maybe between that and minimizing the blaster plus switching it over to LiPo would make it light enough that I would consider running a Nemesis. They're a ton of fun to use. I actually only used one for the first time recently, even though it's been out for like a year or so. But it was a ton of fun, and I was rethinking the whole I don't need a Nemesis thing. So maybe we'll mod one up in the near future. Anyway guys, that's going to wrap it up for this thrifting video. It's not really a thrifting video, but it's more of a stuff that I bought on sale. But I guess it fits into that sort of category of videos. Definitely sad to see Toys R Us go. I'm curious to see what they do with some of the exclusive lines that were for Toys R Us, whether they'll just go to like Target or Walmart, or I guess Amazon now has some exclusive stuff. But I'm curious to see if some of the stuff goes to that and they just don't make any more Alien Menace stuff or things of that nature. Anyway guys, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video.